and you can learn as much from seeing what other people are doing as you can from us telling you things week to week or even in the comments. So I would encourage that. I'm also asking that within each cluster, you need to watch the other presentations in your cluster and to provide written feedback to each group. So each individual should provide written feedback to each of the 4 groups that are, well, it'll be 3 because you're one of the 4 that are presenting in that cluster. And there's a Google form link in Canvas that you just click on and you just tick the group that you're watching, provide 2 comments, what you think they've done really well and what you think could be improved. And that will be consolidated and provided back to all the groups as some peer feedback. It'll be anonymous. I am asking you to put your name on when you actually fill it out because I want to see who's actually participating. But when I circulate it, your name will be removed and the comments will be anonymous. Does anyone have any questions about that process? Okay. So if that's the case, I think we'll have to get started because this is bringing us all together into one presentation is quite ambitious in terms of timing. And so I've allowed for 20 minutes a group, but that doesn't give Marco and I time to do anything, get a drink or anything. So if we can borrow some time as we go along, if we progress well, then it'll give Marco and I time to have a stretch or get a cup of tea or something to eat. So we'll start with cluster A, and so that's groups 3, 4, 9, and 12. I will tell you when to start, and I will record your session as well as the feedback that Marco and I give you, and then you'll also get some written comments with your mark from us. And I will upload the recordings to the Dropbox so that you'll have a copy of it. Because I know sometimes when you're presenting, you may not be listening that well because you might be nervous or too thinking about what you're trying to present rather than what people might be saying to you. So that's one of the great things about Zoom. We can record these. Anyone have any questions before we get started?
So are we expected to fill in those forms as we go?
If you're in the cluster, yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you just basically listen to the presentation and then you can fill in the form.
Cool.
Yeah.
Dina, were we supposed to fill in peer assessments for this or is it only for assessment?
Say that again?
Were we supposed to fill in peer review for our group or is that next?
No, that's at midterm and
okay.
Final. Yeah. Okay, so then that would mean group 3 is first.
Okay. Can I share my screen?
Yep, go ahead. And I'll push record when you get it up. And Marco.
Yes.
Could you time?
Yes, I am.
Okay, because we're going to stick to the time, guys. So if we have to cut you off, we apologize ahead of time. But if we don't stick to the time, we will run out of time.
Okay, at the 10th minute, I will say to wrap up in 2 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
And let me just pick record. Okay, we can start when you're ready.
Okay, so this is group 3, and I'm Yuan Yuan. My teammates, including Ruihan, Chunlei, and Ziqing. Today, we're gonna present our design analysis. Next page, please. Next page, please. So first, let's take a quick look at our precedent studies, the Stanford University campus and New York University campus. So these 2 campuses have very different features. Stanford University is a blended green-based campus with the character of large green space, large campus area, low-density campus distribution, symmetrical building footprint, and clear campus boundary. However, the NYU as a grafted campus that embedded within the urban environment, it has blurred campus boundary, real-grid campus blocks, high-density campus distribution, and many shared-use facilities. The Westmead campus is a research and health-based campus located in the center of the city of Parramatta. You should learn from the NYU campus. Meanwhile, the excellent nature environment in Parramatta and Westmead precinct make the Westmead campus a green-based campus. Next page, please. So here is the location and demographic analysis. Parramatta as a major commercial suburb and center for Greater Western Sydney, it is located approximately 20 kilometers west of the Sydney CBD on the banks of Parramatta River. The Westmead campus site is located at the junction of Westmead Precinct and Parramatta Precinct, just right next to a large green space, the Parramatta Park. And based on the demographic analysis, there are 33% of tree canopy across the city of Parramatta, which is far beyond the tree canopy cover rate for the city of Sydney. And another important information need to mention about is the birthplace and language proficiency, which together shows a large proportion of immigration context of the Parramatta and Westmead area. Next page, please. So this page typography and view analysis showing that the terrain of Westmead is well arranged and quite complex, with a maximum of 57 meters and a minimum of about 5 meters. The school campus is located in the low-lying land near the waterway, with an average altitude of less than 10 meters. The characteristics of the terrain enable the campus to interact well with surrounding landscape and future urban views. The site areas has long view corridors to neighboring suburbs and in proximity to major urban greenery. Some key views including Parramatta Park, Hospital Reserve Farm, Northmead, and the Parramatta Town Centre. Also, the rich water resource gives the site with more dynamic water features. Several bridges built across the Parramatta River become important supportive facilities to connect Westmead with outside. Next page, please.
And this page shows the transport network and road hierarchy. And Westmead is well served by different types of public transport, including light rail, train, and bus. The two main roads, Hawkesbury Road and Church Street, is served by newly proposed light rail. The light rail across through the Sydney Uni campus site and provide great convenience to students and staff. However, Westmead train station is relatively far from the site, and the majority of bus routes are located out of the 8 meters radius of the campus site, which may lead to some inconvenience to people who are unable to access to the campus by light rail. In terms of cycle lanes, Westmead has great numbers of cycle lanes both in the site and out of the site, and it is desirable to encourage travel by cycle on Church Street, which is the main road near the site. More well-designed cycle lanes along the river can also contribute to Westmead and become a sustainable and unique suburb. The majority shops and services are located along the main streets, which are separately situated in the west and east of the site. They may take relative high traffic flow sometimes. Therefore, a better street design strategy for the main road are significant to promote the connectivity to create efficient links around the site. Next page, please.
So this page is the open space and vegetation analysis. As I mentioned, the city of Parramatta has an excellent nature environment. This includes abundant green spaces, high green canopy cover rate, and rich diversity of vegetation species. Based on the green space function, I characterized it into 3 categories, including the low utilized green open space, sports and recreation area, and recreation corridors. First, the low utilized open green open space. Within the existing campus site, there are multiple large green open spaces that are used as parking area for the reason of lacking green canopy and on-ground parking space. Second, the sport and recreation area, which located near the campus site, including inside the Parramatta Park. And the third one is the recreation corridors, which is distributed along the Parramatta River and waiting for further development. Next page, please.
Okay, this page is about the interface and heritage sightings around the campus. We selected 6 photos of the interface on the boundary and divided them into 3 tabs. The first category is the interactive space with residential areas. Basically, road is always used to isolate the boundary. The second type of this space is the construction areas. Almost the entire southeast border is under construction, since the light rail line is being planned there. The third type is large area of grassland. However, these 2 green spaces have not been effectively used. Even part of the green space is used to parking. And there are many heritage buildings around and inside the campus. According to the policies, the heritage areas located outside of the campus need to be preserved. But for several single heritage buildings located on campus, when replanning the site layout, we must consider integrating and removing them. And the next page is about the block pattern and street features around the campus. There is a grid pattern in the residential area and mixed-use areas, but the internal of the campus is irregular. So for the street located in the residential block, there will be a parking space and grid green facilities on both sides of the street, but the sidewalks are narrow. The second type is commercial streets. The vehicle lines are very wide and there is no parking spaces. And for the curved path inside the campus, there is no obvious distinction between the vehicles and the sidewalks.
And this one shows and the build form. The current study area is dynamic land uses. The campus site is now mainly comprised by 1 to 2-story low-rise buildings with large numbers of green spaces, health-related buildings. There are a great proportion of residential buildings around the site, which provides a relative quiet living condition for the patient. Next page, please.
Based on previous site analysis, we found that this site has some advantages to be further developed. For example, current riverside recreation space and some existing urban greenery nearby, all giving excellent foundations for future sustainability. The waterway dividing the site area communicating with nature in a unique way and enables future opportunity of water-sensitive design along the river frontages. Our site visit explores that the majority of open space inside the site are low utilized. These valuable lands are occupied as parking. How to use them wisely and connecting the campus well with larger urban public space to form a green archipelago corridor will be next stage opportunity. Also, current site area has limited connective pathways or footbridges for people moving across the river. Proposing them with walkable pedestrian pathways and 1 more bridges on the northern part of campus can promote the accessibility of the pedestrian-based campus. Next, please.
Based on the above analysis, there are 3 kinds of constraints. First, during the site visit, we found that the campus lacks of accessibility. There is no access to the surrounding blocks and there is no road that directly connects the east and west direction. In addition, the existence of some construction site may be also the causes. In terms of the ecological environment, how to redesign the waterfront and planning the hiking and the cycling roads is a challenge, because the roads are very messy and lack of repairs. In terms of the adaptability of heritage sightings, how to form a connection with the surrounding heritage area also need to be carefully considered. Additionally, a buffer should be set up between the old Parramatta Go and the campus to enhance the internal security.
And we come up with 5 main design principles in regarding to our key objectives. They are firstly enhancing the utilization and connections between.
Sorry.
You have 2 minutes left.
Okay, so this page is our design statement. First,
sorry.
we have our vision statement. Our vision is to provide an ecological and integrated campus which serves the students, staff, and surrounding neighborhoods. And here is our 5 key objectives. We want to provide a sustainable campus, and we want to provide a quiet and harmonious campus atmosphere with a sustainable, ecological, and art campus character. The third one is we want to create a responsive campus, which means to utilize the physical campus area as a base to support daily life needs and community vitality in addition to the education and teaching role it plays. And the fourth one is we want to create a connected campus. And the last one is we want to create an integrated campus, which means to create a world-class campus of excellence in integrated education, research, and healthcare to advance the well-being of the people of Western Sydney. Next page, please.
And then we come up with our 5 main design principles in regarding to our key objectives. They are firstly enhancing the utilization and connections between existing green spaces and the riverbank. Secondly, introducing well-connected road across the campus and along the rivers, and adding bridges to connect both sides of the river in the campus. Thirdly, enhancing the riverbank activities and in-campus green spaces to create sense of belonging. Fourth, engagement with education, research, technology, innovation, and medical science to increase the campus of excellence and contribute to the surrounding. And finally, promote the basic service infrastructure and healthcare inside campus to serve both people inside and outside the campus and benefit the future development of future Westmead. And that's all. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So can I stop sharing or just this thing?
No, leave
Okay.
it until we're done with the comments. Yep. Okay. Do you want to go first, Marco, or do you want me to go?
I can go. Look, I think it was a very good presentation. It was very thorough, starting with the 2 campuses, the background. It went through very orderly from the location map, demographic, topographic. It was clearly structured. I think that the block patterns slide showing the 3 grids, whichever, yeah, this one here or other, it clearly shows how this area becomes a focal point where the 3 or 4 directions meet together. So it's an opportunity. It's not an easy site, but it's also an opportunity of connecting the different geometries of the campus, of the area around. Now, I noticed that you have proposed 1, 2, 3 bridges additional to the Breeze Road Bridge. Okay, of course, you have concentrated inside the area. I think that the main problem here is how to connect the northern part of the city to the campus. That's a really missing point. And so maybe just try to focus also a bit wide, in a wider direction when you have to think more strategically how to connect the rest of the city to the campus, because to me here there is a lack of connectivity from the north. This is my only comment.
Okay, I agree with that comment that Marco is making, and I think the graphics are really clear, easy to read, coordinated across the group. I think it's a very good presentation. I only have a few comments that were really just about how you could probably enhance it a bit. One is the heritage slide. I think it's important to acknowledge the different significance levels of the buildings, which are in the background material that we've given you. So what is most significant, what's least significant? I know that some of that is captured a bit here, but it is a little bit tricky to read. I spent a lot of time trying to connect the lines to the other circles and understand it. So I think that could be a little bit more detailed and also simpler in the way you're doing the graphics, but it's still a useful set of information and diagram that you've done. The other thing that I had a comment on was the bridges that Marco's already mentioned. I think it's just a little thing, but when you start, maybe starting with your location map first, because you can't assume the audience knows what your presentation is even about. So, you know, giving it some kind of introduction before. I do like the precedents that you've shown and that you've shown them at the same scale. They're drawn the same way. It's very informative, but maybe it's a bit of a deep dive to put that as a first slide. And the only other thing is, I think that I like where you're going with thinking about the principles at the end and that you started to try to diagram them spatially. That's all really positive. And I can see the links between what you're thinking about and your analysis. I think the vision statement is a little general. It could use a little bit, it could be more developed to be more specific to the place maybe. It's very, I get that the vision works with the objectives and then the principles are much more detailed, and that's fine, but I just think as you work through your design and start to develop what this campus really is, I would just encourage you to make that vision statement a bit more place specific and you know, a bit more catchy probably, so that you really can get people interested in this kind of campus that you're going to propose.
Yes, thank you for your comment.
Okay, great. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Dina.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, group 4.
Yes, we are here.
Hi.
Hi, we're gonna share our screen. Because we are pre-recorded, so I'm not sure whether you can hear the sound. So just try.
Hi everyone.
Can you hear that?
Yes, I can hear that. And I'm recording too. So go when you're ready.
Today we are glad to share with you all about our group analysis of the Westmead site. So to begin with some broader regional information, the study site is situated around Parramatta CBD, taking great benefit from the future economic growth of one of the 3 metropolises of Sydney. It is about 1.8 kilometers away from the centre of Parramatta CBD, which means it has close relationship with the future innovation of the local transport network and economic corridor. Connected by the future Sydney Metro West, Westmead is also aligned with Greater Sydney's visions of creating economic significance centered on innovation, health, and education. Reflecting from the demographic data of Parramatta, the increasing population requires better local services and infrastructures to suit the growing needs of residents. The data of diversity and heritage items indicates the necessity of respecting both Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal assets. The overall topography is clearly undulating, with the river at its lowest point. High grounds enable natural visual connections. Within the campus boundary, the landform is relatively gentle in comparison to the whole, and also has low potential for large-scale flooding. The topographic difference is 50 meters on the western side of the riverbank and 9 meters on the eastern side, which provides opportunities for visual connectivity in the future campus. The site is mostly low density and has a lot of low-rise buildings. Therefore, shadow coverage is relatively low and most areas are highly exposed. For the river corridor, the Parramatta River is one of Australia's most iconic waterways, being central to Australian Indigenous and colonial history and to the development of modern Sydney. The river is the natural center of our city. It's our backyard. With its long meandering shoreline, there exist many bridges. In this diagram, we demonstrate 5 bridges characteristics with different height, width, and functions. Vegetation mainly focuses on the wetland, which is located along the river with existing walkable lands. It promotes healthy ecosystem in the river, and the key to making the river swimmable again is to limit pollutants from entering the river through stormwater and drainage systems in our streets, as well as the sewer system across our catchment. In terms of vegetation types and patterns, bushland and biodiversity are the bedrock of natural systems. The plants, trees, organisms, ecosystems, and ecological processes that occur all around us supply us with oxygen and clean water. By protecting our natural assets, we can improve the quality of life for our residents, workers, visitors, and also for Greater Western Sydney. And by protecting our bushland and biodiversity, we can make sure native Australian animals and the plants thrive. In terms of environmental performance, in the Western Sydney region, an increasing number of days are reaching 35 degrees and above. In midsummer, the average temperature in Parramatta can be 5 to 10 degrees hotter than the Sydney eastern suburbs. So by comparing the two maps, the river and the green corridor have the lowest temperatures. The future campus site experiences urban heat due to the large areas of paved, hard, dark-colored surfaces such as roads, car parks, and buildings.
We acknowledge the Darug people as the traditional custodians of the land in which our study area resides. For over 60,000 years, the area comprising present-day Parramatta has been occupied by the Burmatago people, a clan of the Darug. In addition, as the second oldest Briton settlement within Australia, Parramatta beholds a rich early colonial history, much of which remains in the form of monuments and historical sites, offering a significant and fascinating insight into the past. The site contains a wealth of heritage structures that should be preserved and revealed. The map is showing the existing bus route and the light rail route, which is under construction now. The 200-meter distance catchment for both bus and light rail stations are illustrated on the map. 200-meter walking distance is considered as a suitable walking distance for students and surrounding residences. According to the catchment, north of the site area and the north residential area are not covered by transportation catchment currently. The active transportation facilities and encourages walking and bike riding by providing direct links to key destinations. The map showing the bike paths regarding the information provided by City of Parramatta, current cycleway condition is not well. Problem of discontinuity, lack of clear sign can be found in the site and the surroundings. Also, aiming to respond to the active transportation improvement as part of the Parramatta Light Rail program, an active transport link or shared walking and bike paths will be built for the community between Carlingford and Alfred Street in Parramatta, which shown as a green dotted line on the map. The link is able to increase accessibility for two sides of the riverside. The land use of site area and surroundings are being investigated. According to the observations, most buildings within site area are regarded as medical using or historical buildings which are used to function as medical using. Surrounding area are all residential areas and mixed with some commercial and education land use. The building heights map on the right side is displayed as a reference. Most buildings are at similar heights. Due to the building diversity and campus capacity needed to be taken into consideration campus capacity in our following planning strategy.
For the open space analysis, major public open space is located alongside the river corridor, with significant trees and vegetation supporting biodiversity. It's important to keep in mind that some metro trees can cause a potential block of sight and decrease the visual probability. The northeast corner space has great potential to be a more multiple-use open venue. Most of the private open space are used as parking lots, where this use is ecologically unsustainable. The eco-distribution of this space has great open potential for the future development. The current public sitting space is often scarred and used due to its poor design and unwelcoming settings, which also highlights the need for better infrastructure network design. Overviewing the site interface, the major intersection alongside the boundary line was investigated. According to the observation, pedestrian volume are low within the site area. Due to the construction work of the light rail, some areas have a low level of the accessibility, such as viewpoint A, B, and C. While the active transport link will be installed in the future, comprehensive improvement is a requirement for the achieving more welcoming mixed-use light interfaces. From this diagram, we can see most of streets on site are narrow and can be accessed in both directions, but they are not friendly to pedestrians. Some are under the unsafe conditions. Bridge Street now serves three functions that are two-way traffic, pedestrian walkway, and bridge. It can be an important traffic node which need to improve further. We found that street on the west provide street parking, and the street on the east are mainly the interests of the hospital buildings. But parking spaces are limited to the spaces of the traffic and walking. Inspired by our four cases, we pictured the site to have a gradually blended characteristic from a central academic use to a mixed use on the edge of the site. Innovative reuse methods in RMIT and UCL can be adaptive to existing significant heritage buildings. At the same time, their campus edges overlap the diverse commercial activities, creating a high active and blended campus in the city. Distinctive road network and the view corridors in Stanford Uni also provide insight for enhancing accessibility connectivity of the site. Peking Uni offers an example for integrating natural water elements with high-density campus buildings.
Based on the above analysis, we have summarized the site opportunities in four aspects. Firstly, existing heritage buildings should be retained and repurposed to form university programs and define future campus spaces. From an environmental perspective, it is important to enhance the existing vegetation patterns, create new green corridors, restore the aquatic ecosystem, and reprogram the riverfront. In addition, provide open spaces to the campus. The eastern area should be included in the campus as a school space. The southern area near the station will not only provide activities for commuters, but also maximize connections between the campus and the park. Considering the accessibility, we decided to expand the movement network and provide ecological pathways along the river. 2 walkable bridges in the site to enhance both visual and physical connectivity. Finally, create a low-rise, low-density area to protect the riparian corridor. Mixed-use area could be located close to the transport spine to enhance campus vitality. The heritage site can be rezoned for medium-density researching area while retaining the structure. We also summarized the site constraints. The diagram shows a number of heritage buildings in black and significant trees in green. The limit land zoning and design integral. Also, the hospital building constrained the threshold of the new campus. It is important the river is polluted and flooding risk zone will be affected in the campus planning. The urban heat shows it is at least 5 degrees hotter than the eastern region. The site currently has many visual barriers that result in poor permeability to the site, such as riparian trees and the light rail. Road safety also needs to be improved, such as optimizing infrastructure, passive surveillance, widening footpaths, and opening river access. Finally, the whole site lacks collective transport and active transport network. Our vision for this campus is that we imagine this place to become a highly integrated university campus that embraces innovative learning and vivid living experiences into the old setting. Through the consistent support of a smart campus system, designing a more vibrant and sustainable place which can respect past place significance and engage with the future urban setting of Parramatta. The 5 key concepts are culture and heritage significance, accessibility and connectivity, vibrant community, safety, and sustainability. Significant historical and cultural characteristics are retained to support a unique historical and cultural campus experience to improve the accessibility of the site for different user groups. The space used are diversified to support the vibrancy of future local communities, adapting the characteristics of grafted campus and supporting the vitality of university life. Safety concern is key to the campus design. Smart infrastructures, lighting designs, and in-campus surveillance ensure both day and night safe access to the university. Together, the redesign of the open space networks and river corridor should also support the sustainability development of the site. That's our presentation. Thank you for
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Do you want to take turns from starting, Marco? Do you want me to do
Yeah.
this one first? We can just
So
swap back and forth.
it was a complete analysis.